Hello everyone and welcome back to the Motor Trade Mentors podcast with David Gott of the Lovely Car Company, myself, Joe Petty at Barrow Motors, and today we are joined by Grumpy Sprout, aka James Alford of Platinum Car Centre and Platinum Van Centre. James probably does need our advice, to be honest, but that's not why he's on here. James is coming on because he's probably going to sit in the hot seat for me going forward, or at least next week because I'm away, and we thought we'd all get together and have a little conversation and ease the transition, I guess. So what we thought we might do is theorise with our experience what we might do if we were to start over with, say, a pot of about £50,000. How would we go about it? Would we want to sell from home? Would you hire someone straight away? Would you not? I don't know. I mean, I haven't even given it any thought, but we can figure it out now. So what do you think you would do, James, if you had to start all over again, completely fresh slate, no staff, no site necessarily, and you had 50 grand to put into cars?
Do I get some knowledge, or is it like a freestyle, let's go in, I'm nobody? What do I get?
Well, not much knowledge, as much as you've got now, basically.
Okay. God, I just got that. That was brutal. It's Christmas.
So, but Joe, is this scenario? We've lost all our money, and we're starting again. So we already know the game, or is it we've got absolutely no clue, and we start from beginning?
No. This is with our experience. So the listeners who are listening and watching, who maybe are thinking about getting into, maybe have got an opportunity. They got 50 grand sat away in the savings. They were going to buy, I don't know, another house or something. But they're like, I really wanted to do car sales. How would we do it? Haven't had all the experience we've had. Obviously, we all did it how we did it. We've had a lot of experience. And how would you do it if you were given the opportunity to start again? Just start completely afresh. Maybe it was someone's given you the opportunity to partner up with them and do a separate site. How would you start?
Okay. So, number one for me would be I would make sure that whatever I'm doing is not at home. So I would make sure that whatever I do, I'll make sure that it's away from the home address. So I've got to physically drive to somewhere. Even if it's 100 yards down the road, I'd make sure that it's at a different location to differentiate work and home. So you go home, shut the door. And that's a mental health thing, not anything else. Second of all, I'd probably go somewhere for, I know it's a unicorn thing at the moment, but if you look hard enough for something, you will find it. Somewhere that's very, very, very low rent, low expectations, maybe just a small area that you can fit maybe 10, 15 cars in a port cabin on. Focus on getting water, electric, and doing the best that you can. And I'd probably, for 50 grand, I'd probably try and get 10 cars, I'd say. Allow a little bit of money so I could do the first 3 months worth of advertising packages, so at least we can get one out the door, get the ball rolling. And I'd use one of the local car washes that we've got to get the cars valeted out and then just do the final touches myself. That's what I would do. And I believe that would be a very, very, very strong basis just to get the ball rolling. That would do you for a year on your own, and you wouldn't have to rely on anybody else. I don't think you'd have to put mental hours into it, and you'd be able to do a lot of it by appointment. I don't think there's much more to it than that. That's a real simple. I've always fancied that. If everything went wrong tomorrow, I think that's what I would do myself.
Yeah, I think I'm very similar. What about you, Dave? Do you think you'd do the same? Just like a very rough and ready site that's cheap,
Yeah.
gravel pitch on a farm or something?
Definitely. So, from doing all these podcasts and stuff, Martin, that is what I would do. I would go and ask all the farmers in this local area, have you got any space? And like James is saying there, enough for 10, 15 cars. The main thing I would not do ever is get a partner as well. I wouldn't go to someone and say, oh, look, I've got 50 grand. Do you want to put 50 grand in with me? Because then you end up doing all the heavy lifting. You start resenting each other. It always goes wrong. So I would always do it on my own. I'd try and find, I wouldn't care about a roadside pitch. I wouldn't care about even having a snazzy office. It would literally just be somewhere that I could park cars. And I'd make sure it had good pictures. I wouldn't employ a valeter because there's so many flipping and car washers out there. But I would maybe employ an old, like someone who's retired who can help me get from place to place, picking up cars from the auction, dropping off cars at the valeters, dropping off.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, dropping off because, and it would be part time because you don't want to take on a full time person with a full time wage, PAYE, all that type stuff. Just need someone who can come in 3 days a week, or just someone who can ring up and say, "Oh look, can you give us an hand moving this car, and I'll give you 20 quid." Just somebody like, because the other thing is, if you've got a wife,
Yeah, like you're about to say, the wife, like get your other half, you know.
that's what I wouldn't do.
Nah.
Because that's why me and my ex-wife got
No,
divorced.
definitely don't do that.
Ah,
There was a lot of other reasons.
Yeah, when I'm in work mode, I can be a bit prickly. So if she turned up, she's done it before. She's parked up outside and like not parked up very well and blocked some stuff in, and I've been a little bit prickly to her, and I shouldn't have been. But she just won't. She won't do it, and I sort of like dodged that, you know. And I'm not. I sort of start talking to her like she's something that works for me. Whereas if I had an old boy that come up and was dropping me around and stuff, I'd be like, oh, he's old, bless him, you know, he can park where he likes. But yeah, I 100% agree with you, Dave, on that. Don't employ your partner, or don't, because then you're working like a little favour tree, and before you know it, you've got to dip into those favours of a night time. I completely separate it. Yes, you're right, correct.
good point. I do agree, yeah. And I can be, as you say, a little prickly in work mode.
Joe, everyone thinks I'm so nice, but my ex-wife thought I was an absolute twat bag. Because, you didn't...
What does she know that we didn't know?
Yeah. She was like, why'd you have to talk to me like this? Why? Like what James is saying, you just get a bit prickly. Because it's your baby as well, all these cars. If you're starting again, all them 10 cars are going to be my little babies. I'm going to treat them like my little babies.
It's true. My other half's come in and tried to help doing admin and stuff like that. And she'll be like, what do you want me to do next? I'm in the middle of doing something and I'm focused on what I'm doing. She's like, well, I haven't got anything to do. What do you mean? And I was like, I don't know. Give me a second to let me do what I'm doing. You feel like you've got to manage someone else then. And of course, when it's your other half, it's a bit easier to just be like, fuck off. You couldn't do it with staff, could you? So, yeah. So she still wants to come in, but I won't allow her. I just won't allow her to come in. I'm like, it just, no, we won't. We don't get on at the best of times. Never mind when we're at work. Let's not bother. Like, it's just not worth it. I'd rather give you money than have you come in and then stress me out.
Definitely. And what about you, James?
What about me?
Your wife, does she help you in any way at work?
So, for me, she's really good at the emotional support side of it. So, like, she'll see when I've come home and I don't know if my face says it or whatever. Like, if I've had a rough day, she'll clock it and she'll sit me down and be like, oh, I don't want to know. Do you want something to eat? Do you want a beer? And I'm like, well, actually, yes, I do want all of those things. And somehow she just gets it, and it sort of, most of my problems sort of disappear. Or she'll be like, right, go to the gym. Like, I'll walk in the door, she'll be like, get out of the house, go to the gym for an hour, come back, factory reset, and I'll be absolutely fine. Those are the sort of things that she can spot really well. But I think coming into my work environment, I'm a little bit of a different person. I wear two different hats. So I try and be like nice husbands, with the pets and all that sort of jazz at home. And here I've got to be somebody different just because of the brutal industry that we're in. So I feel like when I come to work, I'm wearing a suit of armour, and when I go home, I take it off. So that's why I probably don't want to mix the two of them.
That's beautiful. That.
I don't want her to get stabbed with a sword while she's here. Not good.
Yeah. You do need some separation, don't you? Because then if your partner works with you as well, like, you still talk about it at home and plan it at home, and it all just becomes work, just a grey wash of work.
The thing is, I think she's actually got a much worse job than I do. She teaches 13-year-old girls A-level maths. Well, I'd rather take a shit in my hands and clap than do that. And they've got all their emotions as well. All these teenagers now, everything's like, they've got 3 different toilets for 80 different genders, and you've got to be PC all the time. Like, this environment that I'm in is about the most un-PC environment you could ever come into, like the amount of names that these lot call each other. Like I could write a dictionary on it, but like if she mentioned that I'd said that in a conversation, they'd be in HR immediately, and that's the that's the world that we're in. So yeah, so I try. I think it's safe to cut each world off from another one.
Fair enough. We've had a good counselling session there on relationships at work. But back to the actual setting up a business. Once you've divorced your wife,
What cars would you set up? Oh, sorry, we haven't asked you, Joe. What you would do? Sorry.
no, I'm in agreement. As cheap as possible. I don't. Do you feel like both of you think of like talking about this? I thought the other reason it would be interesting to do this is because it's almost like a bit of a fantasy in my head. This idea of having such little to do, such a small operation. Think back to when I did have 10 cars in stock, maybe, and I reckon I probably made more money than I do now. And it was just me and maybe one other person or whatever. It was this small, streamlined operation. You weren't, are we just busy fools now? Like thinking we're getting bigger, and by getting bigger, we're just servicing the machine, paying more tax, rather than, because I know I used to be able to make $1,000 a week, clear $1,000 a week, easy, selling cheapies. If you see my video on my accounts and whatever, I didn't make that last year. So it's interesting. I would definitely keep it small. In fact, I thought it'd be interesting because I think it's even harder now. I know when I started, my first trade insurance policy was £1,300 for the year, but now it's £900 a month.
Oh my God.
So, I mean, it was a very Billy Basic road runner, just road risk only. And I think it had about £5,000 limit on the cars, but that's all right because I was selling cars for like, if I had a car for sale for £5,000, it was like, wow, we are soaring. My stuff was crap. But yeah, the costs now, I think, make it so hard. I was thinking we should do it. So say you got what do you think you're going to pay for somewhere like, we should have asked Martin, for his barn. He's got pretty much unlimited parking space outside. But say you had somewhere that was like a little unit or a bit of whatever, don't know, £600-700 a month? I think that's fair.
Yeah, but it's a little bit. It's probably about £1,000 a month down here, I'd say.
Yeah, I think probably realistically, I mean, I've had some cheap places before, but I think realistically, if you were to go out and look now, even for something really rubbish, it's £1,000.
And nobody wants motor traders either. We're not, because they call us the spiders. That's what the land agents call us, because they're like, they give you this much space, and then you do this thing where you appear, and all of a sudden your cars are everywhere, and you've got 20. That might just be me because I'm a nuisance.
That's what everyone's like, isn't it? Cars are big things, and you need to put them somewhere.
Yeah, but they don't want car dealers. But if anything, like we're the ones that pay on time, and we probably leave the unit in the best condition it's ever going to be ever anyway. Like, you put a mechanic in a unit for 20, 30 years, it's horrendous. Like you put a packaging company in there, they build loads of offices and use it for 15 years. At least we, the actual usage of the building, ours is literally just stopped rain going on the vehicles, and that's it. And we make sure that it's well secure and it's got CCTV. So from a landlord's perspective, I don't know why you wouldn't want a car dealer in. But at the same time, if you've got like a park area where you've got lots of other people, you probably wouldn't want them because they'd take the piss and park in other people's spaces.
It's just having a bad rep, like every other corner of the market that look at us and think car dealers are bad. I think you're going to fly by night and just disappear and all that sort of stuff. Just bad reputation, isn't it? And I mean, there are people out there like that. But
Joe, do you think, and James, sorry, do you think 70% of car dealers in these units give up after 2 years, though? Do you think that's another reason they don't want them in there? Because they don't think they're going to be long-term tenants. They think, oh, God, it's another car dealer. He's going to give up.
do you know my honest truth? And it sounds really bad, but I think there's some people who are car dealers and set up and have a go at it that don't give up soon enough. I think they should realise I'm fucking shit at this. I'm like really bad, and I just won't treat people fairly. It's not that they're not good business people or whatever, just generally it's that maybe they've set up with this expectation they're going to sell a car and it's going to go and they won't ever have to fix it, and when it does come back, they just ignore it, and then just being a bit generally shit, and they keep going until they have no choice but to go pop and run off, or clear everything out one evening or whatever, which I know does happen because I've seen it happen. But a lot of people, I don't know whether they're just like, but I guess a lot of people, what else do you do if that's your thing? I guess hopefully with these sorts of podcasts and things, you can kind of like actually stop and reassess and think about it and like, right, what is making me money? I'm selling, £3,000 cars with loads of warranty issues, and I'm not fixing them up and doing them whatever, but I'm driving around on a £100,000 Range Rover. Like, you need to give your head a wobble. It's just your priorities aren't right.
Seen a few of those down our way, but like that's a really nice segue into your podcast as to why it is a thing. I reckon there's an absolute shit ton of dealers out there, even now, that have got themselves into a pickle, and the pressure comes on at Christmas time anyway, and it's that jump to be able to go, have I fucked up here, and ask somebody for help that they think might know. And believe it or not, like there's 110 motor dealers in Plymouth. If any one of them rang me up, I don't really have beef with anyone in the local area. I try to be as much of a grey man as I can and do my own thing. But if someone rang me up and go, look, mate, I'm absolutely fucked. Like, is there any way that you can help me or give me some advice? I think whatever part of the country you're in, I think we would give them the advice and say, look, mate, cut this down, do that. I'll help you with that, whatever. I think we would genuinely do that. We're not, as much as you laugh at people and go, oh, I want to see them fail. We don't. Nobody wants to see somebody else fail because it's not just them. There'll be other people relying on them. We want them to do okay. And if they are struggling, just put your hand up and go, do you know what, mate? I'm in trouble. I need some advice. And the chances are there's somebody out there that has got some advice. They won't know all of it. Like, none of us know all of the answers, but at least we've got something to give, I reckon. Or we've experienced what they're going through now, and we can give them our take on it and what we would do differently.
9 times out of 10, you know the answer. You just need to hear it from someone else to give it justification.
100%.
Yeah, like buy more car parts.
Like, I'm spending £4,500 a month on AutoTrader, and I wish I'd had the forethought to cancel it for this month. Yeah, James hates it, but yeah, I agree, and I'm figuring every way I can to get away from it.
Do you know, I done that. I done it in October. I thought it's gonna go dead December. I want to cut it down anyhow, and I cut it. But I only learnt from that because I made the same mistake last year. I thought if I could just cut the package down so it goes, we're going to save about £800 this month just by not having AutoTrader as many slots on there.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it. And if we can share all this information,
I was tempted to knock it on the head completely and save myself. I was tempted to completely stop it and save £4,500 for that month because I know we're not going to sell many. Like, why just keep pumping money out if you know you're probably not going to sell anything anyway?
That's a good idea.
Just do it.
Could you do that?
Do it.
Yeah, of course you can. Yeah, you can pause it and start it whenever you want.
Go on.
It's too late now because we're into December, so I won't be able to pause December. I wish that's why I said I wish I had the forethought to do it
Set
before.
a reminder in your phone next year when it gets to September.
Well, no, like maybe July and August. Knock it on the head in July and August, and then put 50% of what you're going to spend into another platform. I'm not going to suggest what the other platform is, but just 50% into something else and see how it goes.
Yeah.
And you can't lose. I genuinely believe you cannot lose. Like I obviously I follow all the other stuff, and I've took a belief out of Sheik's book, and I signed up with Car Gurus, and everyone has ripped them for years and years and years and said they're dog shit, it's fake leads, it's rubbish. It's performed better than all of my platforms apart from Facebook. It's been amazing. All right, and Dougal from Ireland, because obviously they're an Irish company owned in America. You have this wonderful phone call with this leprechaun chap. He's all excited about it, and I'm like, oh, this sounds so wrong. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to give it a go, because they did a 6-month package, and it's been amazing. Like, it's genuinely, and they send you all the stuff, like, so they can't lie about like whether it's real or not.
Yeah.
Because I think they've obviously had so much shit in the past about them being a lie. Basically, they go, well, there's the data. Do as you wish with it. And they've been really good for me, and it's £10 a car per month.
That's it. 10% the cost of AutoTrader.
We sold 7-8 cars off the back of them last month, and I can't I can't fault that at all. So that was a really, really, really good investment. Whether it will carry on being a good investment, I'll monitor it. But initially, when I signed up with them, they were superb.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's worth trying these things. But you've got a very different stock profile, I guess, than certainly Dave, and probably from me.
I sold an overage car that was well overpriced as well. That was one of them. One that I wouldn't have normally sold. So it's not, it's all madness, all of it. And like I said, if we had the magic formula, we'd all do it ourselves and we'd all use the same one. But it's just trying some new things. And I saw what the other guys were doing. I thought, you know what, I'll have a little dabble at that, and it worked. Just like you need to have a dabble at Motors and AutoTrader.
Yeah, I certainly want to cut it right down. I still would like to have the data. That's the thing. So it's still going to cost me £700 a month. I'm never going to get rid of that, I don't think. And I know you hate the data, but I need it for other reasons anyway.
It was moaning yesterday about, like, they had a car. Was it Theo? And he was just like, "Oh, I had 5 cars that were in good price, and I woke up this morning and they're all in like fair price." He's like, "What am I supposed to do here?"
Do you know the really funny thing about that, though? Do you know partly why that is? So
They were from you.
I had yeah. Well, I had 4 Dacia joggers. I sold one myself. I sold 2 to Theo, and Theo had them up for sale at, like, I don't know, good price or something. Then sold one to Sheik, and it went up there. And Sheik, I said, "Oh, I think it's like 14 grand." Sheik's like, "No, I'm going to stick it on at 13." And Theo's like, "Fucking hell, don't put it that cheap. You're going to cut the legs off me," sort of thing. And he did. And then obviously his cheap one has affected Theo's, so Theo's now looks overpriced.
No, and that's all. And that's all because of that shit pricing system on AutoTrader.
Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't know that's it for sure, but he was looking. He did a retail check, and it shows you the competitors, the same car, and there's the other one, and Sheik's is there, like being like at like 95% or something, and Theo's trying to be at 101%.
The thing with AutoTrader is, we've got this Golf GTD. We've had it for about 3 months now, and then last week, within the space of 2 days, we had 3 people book appointments to see it. So that's what I can never get my head round, is you'll have nothing for 3 months and then 3 viewings. And it's so annoying. What are you meant to do?
People say car gurus are fake, right? And it's fake leads and whatever. But the one thing that really bothers me about AutoTrader, if you paid for it and it worked 100% and it was just consistent, paid out in the sense of, like, you got the returns on them, people viewing your cars and stuff, great. But like you said, Dave, you'll have nothing on it, then all of a sudden you'll have a massive influx of like 6 or 7 people on one car. And that's not just it suddenly become popular. That's something to do with algorithm. That's something about how it's being displayed to people. It's not as simple as suddenly everyone's decided they want, a BMW 335D. It's just been put in front of them by AutoTrader. So why aren't they doing that all the time? And why are you're paying full whack for something, but you're probably only getting like 10% of the limelight, do you know what I mean? Because they're having to put these other people in, or whatever it is, I don't know. But it's like, it's not just simple coincidence, is it?
By putting like videos on, like using all the tools that they give you, do you think that helps the algorithm?
I don't know. We do it, and we haven't been soaring or whatever, so I don't know. Do you know what I find? Why is it? James is going to sit down there smug, and I'll probably be tempted to turn his camera off so I don't have to look at him.
I'm not being smug. I'm allowed to call you a knob. Like, it's not that. It's, like, you're sucked in by you're sucked in by all of it, and you're like, "Oh, but I need it. You're like a crackhead with like AutoTrader. You should have a picture of it, like you with a AutoTrader sign and a fucking AutoTrader crack pipe. That's what it should be.
Well, the thing is, it does get you results, but whether is it worth the money that you pay for it? Probably not. Not unless it's working really well. But what I can't get my head round, Dave, is that I'll keep seeing people talking about AutoTrader on like the dealer groups and stuff, and the amount of people who are like, "We sacked it off 10 years ago, we sacked it off 2 years ago, whatever," and they're all like, "It's the best thing we ever did." And I'm like, why can't I just do it? I think while it's quiet, maybe now is the time, because then you're just like, but you always just feel like you're losing out, don't you? Because you convince yourself it's the best platform. Everyone agrees it's the best platform. You feel like you're missing out by not having it, but it's just so damn expensive.
Is it the best platform though? Like the reason you've decided it's the best platform for you because you absolutely love the data and they know that you fucking love it. They know you love it. They know you sit there and you open up your little portal and they encourage you. The reps come in and they encourage you. Go on the portal. Look at the data. It's fantastic. You'll be able to know all of this. Remind me again how well your red Range Rover is performing on AutoTrader.
Probably very well.
Yeah.
Very well.
I've still got it.
But you still got it. Like,
But James, what about all the traders we have on the Mentors podcast that are starting out and they struggle to sell cars because they've not got it on the right platforms? Weirdly, when you first start trading on AutoTrader, it helps you sell cars. But then when you get to like mine and Joe's level of like 50 cars, you're still selling cars, but you're not selling as many as you want to, like when you do in the beginning. Do you know what I mean, Joe? Did you find that? I know when I first started, I sold 20 cars in January on like a 12-car package one year. No, we've got 36 advertised here, and we sold 20 last month. Really, we should have sold 30. You know, what it drives me insane.
don't get me wrong, like it is a good platform. I fully respect it. They know exactly what they're doing. They're an excellent piece of the market. All the big dogs, they've all got AutoTrader, but that's because they have to, because they're so pushed up against the wall for margin. Like, if you can put yourself in a position where you don't need them, you will do better. And like, I know these people sit there and they go there on the group dealer chat and they're like, it's the best thing I ever did. It is the best thing you ever did, because having a £6,000, £7,000, £8,000, £9,000 a month direct debit is the biggest direct debit out there. It's 9 times more expensive than insurance. You could afford to have 9 brand new Range Rover Sports on finance every month for less than your AutoTrader package. And do you really see a massive difference in sales? Well, I haven't touched it since 2017. Last month we did 44 units. You know, and I don't have AutoTrader. All of my advertising combined on every single platform is still, it would cost a third what AutoTrader would have. Just the AutoTrader. So it's up to you whether you want to be brave. Like, I don't need to talk to you into it. Like, yeah, if you were just starting and, you know, when we're talking about this £50,000 thing, there's no harm in doing the single adverts on AutoTrader, because they actually perform better than the package ones. And there was a chat, I'm sure there was a chap that came on one of your podcasts the other day that was chatting away about, he had a normal standard package, and he went on the internet, he was like, I can't see any of my cars. He's like, no, but you've got to have the Premium Plus, which is another £3,000 a month, otherwise they won't come up in front of the bigger car supermarkets. That's what they're doing to, you know, you guys. Like, you might have somebody else up in Weston-super-Mare or Dave up in Sheffield that's got the Super Premium Plus with the extra new beta edition, and they're paying an extra £1,000 a month than what you are. Whose cars do you think are going down the pile? Yours.
I assume James uses eBay Motor Group. Do you use it, Dave, at the moment? Do you use it, James?
Yeah, I love it. But it is a it requires work. I think I think what their downside with eBay Motors Group is nobody really talks to you about how to use the portal and how to get the most out of it. Yeah, I've got to put some work into it.
You get free promotions and stuff, don't you?
Yeah, so you get like car of the week, car of the day. You can, if you've got ones that have got videos on it, you can promote them, stuff like that. So if you're happy to dick about inside the portal, you'll get loads of results from them. It is actually a really good system, but it does require effort. But it's no different to when you go on Facebook and put your advert on Facebook. You spend 5, 6, 7 minutes per car doing a Facebook advert, uploading the photos, boosting it, yada, yada, yada. If you don't mind doing that on eBay as well, you'll get the results from it. If you just let it feed off your website, there's a high possibility you won't.
Do you know what I find interesting, though, with, I don't know if you probably have, James, because you're into everything. You say about, well, not bothered by the data, but you're Mr. keep your own data spreadsheet.
I love the data. But if something is performing well and not selling, I'll try and figure out why. AutoTrader just don't tell you that.
This will be interesting for Dave, I think. It's interesting for me as well, and this is a kind of thing that might make me change. So this is Motors, and they now do their own, they call it market check, but it's basically retail check. So it tells you the trade price, the retail price, days to sell, market demand.
It looks like old AutoTrader.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, so you got that, and then if we look at, to be fair, this is a car I've got in stock. I've put it at 60,000 miles, which is actually 500 more than it is. But it says it's 13,814. eBay's got price markers now as well, wasn't it? But if it has, it's going to make it look more expensive than if we look at the actual retail check on AutoTrader, which has got it at 13,435. So that's another 400 quid I could potentially make just by having it advertised on eBay. And it's telling me the same thing. It's telling me it's slightly low demand, same as eBay was. Trade price. What was trade price on it? Normally it tells you what your trade price is here, doesn't it?
Oh, you know what? It's because you've got it in your portal.
Oh, it's because I got it in stock.
Yeah, if you haven't got it in stock, it'll give you the trade price.
Yeah, that's the one that I bought from like Up By You.
Right, flipping heck. Looks nice though.
But that doesn't bother me.
It says explore valuation, top right. Click on that.
Ah, right. Ah, God, I've never seen.
It's all right. I'll give you a lesson on how to use the AutoTrader system. No problem at all.
It also says sell in 34 days. So that's what the other one says.
Always bollocks that.
Do you know what? I think the biggest like kind of selling point for me when it comes to AutoTrader is having that like bit of confidence when it comes to like what you're buying, because you might look at this and like it would be really low. But if you've got something here that just gives you a bit of what's view insight, what's the insight on this?
Well, that looks
just
much
curious.
better than the AutoTrader system. The AutoTrader system's complicated as fuck. It's all bullshit.
It is. It's analysis paralysis.
That looks a lot more presentable. Yeah, there you go. Gross profit. And I bet you any money they haven't got a thing on the internet that goes, your vehicle is high priced. This is just for you.
Oh yeah, and it will show you all the other cars that are in stock, how long they've been in stock. Same as retail check does. So it does make you think, oh, do you know what, actually my eBay package is probably 800 quid a month. And my AutoTrader's $4,500. It's like, could we get by? You know, we've got a lot of information here. If I just learn how to use the eBay system, it does make you wonder.
Have you got a system? Because I use the eBay, I think portal. I think it is some of my stuff, because you can put. I think they've got a package on at the moment where you can have like 6-star cars where it bumps them to the top. Have they got that on that one?
I don't know. Have you not got the same?
No, I use.
Oh, this is interesting. Oh, I have got my stock in here. Yeah, there are things where you can, like, so this is that car.
And how many have you sold off Motors, Joe?
I honestly don't know because I'm not involved with it, am I? I mean, maybe I could find out by looking at dealer.
Car of the week, special offer.
Yeah. So feature this vehicle. That's the thing. You get X amount of free 14-day features. Which I never do because I'm just like focused on AutoTrader. But it's an extra free thing to boost these.
Can you get the sales guys to do that for you?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I could do. Yeah.
You should be, this is a really important part of the like Motors eBay stuff. The featured vehicle, like if you've got overage stock, if you feature it, it will come to the top, and it actually looks quite nice on eBay.
I'm going to find one of the ones that I've had for ages.
What about this? I'm just thinking there, Joe. What about this? So, when it gets to August, it's obviously a few months before, cancel the AutoTrader package for August, because it's always for me.
July and August. You want to cancel for July and August.
So like, this is my New Year's resolution. I'm going to cancel AutoTrader for July and August, see what sales are like using this, and I'm going to do the same for December next year. Just by doing that, it'll save me at least 12 grand. Just by knocking them on the head for 3 months.
I'm tempted to. Do you know what everyone says? Oh, New Year, it all picks up again, which it starts picking up slowly again. But really, March is like your bumper month, isn't it? That's normally your best month.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm tempted, while I'm thinking about it, we'll see, to like knock AutoTrader on the head for January and February and just see. If they're going to be slow anyway, then I don't know.
Go on, do it. Do it.
Go on. You won't.
Yeah. No, you won't. Why don't you both do it and then we'll share the data? We'll have a podcast on the data. You can't do it. Go on.
The reason I can't do it is like Friday, we sold a Golf. There was 2.5 grand in it, and then there was 1,400 quid commission in it, potentially. That's why I can't do it. That's the crack pipe, isn't it? That's the crack pipe.
How do you know that you sold it through AutoTrader though?
I only advertise on AutoTrader.
Well, you don't advertise anywhere else.
Nope.
You don't put it on Facebook,
Nope.
anywhere. So you're only AutoTrader.
Yep.
You're really exposed. So exposed.
Yep.
So, are you not using Facebook at all?
But you have used eBay, and it was just not very good, wasn't it, for
I had
you?
eBay for about 8 years. And funny thing with eBay was every time I was just about to cancel it, someone would buy a car through eBay. That's the only reason I kept it for so long. The problem, see, the difference between me and you, James, well, not now because I've got a salesman, but the reason I knocked eBay on the head before, I just got fed up of all the lunatic customers ringing me up all the time. And it was more for my mental health. I thought, just focus everything on AutoTrader and then I'll get the better leads. And they do seem to be better leads.
You can't really pick customers though. Like they're all lunatics
I know, they are.
in their own little way. Like anyone's 30 seconds away from being a lunatic. You know, like they could buy a beautiful Mercedes CLA and like they could own it for a month, and then all of a sudden they get a gearbox judder. They become a lunatic. You know, you can't. Or sometimes they'll introduce themselves when they ring up and go, "Do you know what? I've got a list of things here," and you're like, "Idiot," straight away.
Yeah.
But they might be sound once the car goes.
Yeah.
We can't pick and choose our customers. Everyone's got their own emotional journey. So I think you should expose yourself as much as you can in a sensible way. Like, see if you can spread your money advertising as far and wide as you can. Like, you know, even if you start dicking about on TikTok with like just some videos of the cars, like it's free. You know, Facebook is also free. You don't have to boost the adverts, but just bang as much of it out there as you can. Expose yourself as much, and then just don't be afraid to ask the customer and go, look, I'm not going to be rude. Before you leave us a Google review or anything, where do you see our car advertised? Takes 10 seconds.
Yeah, well, we ask them every time we sell a car, but bugger if I can figure out where on our DMS I can actually find that information.
Just write it on the receipt. Like, get that. So we do sales folders, which look like so, and I've got a little tick box on there as to where they've seen on the front of the sales folder. So when I go through all the files at the end of the month, I can go through all the files and be like, where have you seen us? And sometimes they'll say like 3 different places. They'll say eBay, Gumtree, Facebook, or whatever. So they'll tell us a multitude of different places. And a lot of these people are looking in all of them. People are smart nowadays. They're a lot smarter than we give them the benefit of the doubt for. They'll look at multiple different platforms. They'll also have a family member that's looking at multiple different platforms. If the woman's the decision maker, which 9 times out of 10 they are, they'll be going on their own different platforms, you know? So there could be 5 different places where they're looking. So I would just say expose yourself as much as you can. Do either of you advertise anywhere else apart from, do you guys do anything like sponsorship-wise, like elsewhere? Like, do you get involved? I know, Joe, you do charity stuff, but that's sort of semi-separate. Do you guys like advertise anywhere? Have you got any boards anywhere?
No, just the local football team, kids football team, and then you get
what? Just the shirt?
Yeah, the shirt, and I've got a couple of adverts in the local magazines, but that's more for buying cars. But yeah, you know, I look at like Danny Bond from DB Automotive, and he's done Instagram for years, just advertising on Instagram. You can do it. It's changing our mindset.
You've got to have the right mindset or the right people, because we were talking to Danny. I couldn't do it. He was sending us messages last night. He's on a Sunday, and he's like, what's your part exchange look like? Has it got all the service history? Has it got 2 keys? And he's going through this whole conversation with someone via Instagram, hoping he's going to get a deal at the end of it. I just couldn't cope with it. I wouldn't have the time or patience. But maybe if you employed someone who did, but...
We do that on Facebook and Instagram. Like, and the problem you've got, and Danny explains it really well, you've got a window of time of how long that person's going to be interested. Because everything's online nowadays and it's 24 hours a day, you've got a semi-reply to that in a relative amount of time, especially sales related. So if you don't want to do it yourself, get someone that is keen to do it. Like our salesman, I explained last night, we've got like a rota, like one does 8:30 till 4:30, one does 10 till 6. The one that's in at 8:30 they'll take the phone home. They don't have to do it, but we say that it's okay. They can answer some leads in the evening, so they walk in the morning. Like sometimes we'll walk in off the back of Facebook or Instagram. We'll have 3 iVendi finance proposals from people that we've been chatting to on Facebook of an evening, because that's the time when they're sat down and they can have a chat to themselves. Like they'll be like, and they'll have their chances are they'll have their partner next to them, who's the decision maker or isn't. It was something that they can do together. They'll be like, oh, should we go and have a look at that car? Should we see if we can get finance on it? Yeah, fuck it, I'll sort it out, and the dealer will sort it all out tomorrow, the next day. So it is doable, but you just need to find if someone's there to be able to do it for you. So it's all down to your salesman, or do you get somebody in that does the social media side of it stuff that's prepared to do that on a sort of like a working from home basis, which is what Danny's got. So it's options. It's all about exposure. The more you expose yourself, the more opportunities you get. Dripping tap fills the bucket.
Yeah.
Let me just share with you. We've completely gone off tangent with setting up our new car dealership, but no, it's all good. People will find it useful. I've now generated my report for all these cars that I've sold and the referral sources. So social media, which would have been from YouTube, walk on, which could have just been, that was just a local buy, guy driving by, website, walk on, returning customer, to AutoTrader, returning customer. These were all traded on. Then you get a lot of AutoTrader, but obviously it hasn't been. We haven't sold, by the looks of it, a single car this month off AutoTrader. We haven't sold many cars, to be honest, but there's a good mix. What I always think about with this thing is we get a lot of like walk-on, website, social media, motors. So we don't get very many for motors, which is interesting because that's one I've seen.
You know that the motors and eBay stuff directs it to your website anyway. That's the one thing they really do encourage.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we don't know, but I mean, AutoTrader's not even the highest one there. My theory is, if anyone should be able to save money on marketing, it should be me. Do you know what I mean? With like the videos, I put videos out and it reaches like 1.5 million people a month. We're never going to get that from AutoTrader, even if I put.
Yeah, I know, but AutoTrader's like entertainment to you. Do you reckon they do like anti-AutoTrader tablets for you, Joe? Like we can get like a patch or something, a little nicotine patch. I'm coming off.
I'm not that fussed. I just want to pay for whatever works. I think that's why Dave likes it as well, because it's like you pay for it, it's a solution, you don't have to put too much time into it.
The problem with these podcasts is it pickles my head what to do. You know, I've just been on the phone to Sheik this morning and it's inspired me so much and that. I'm like, hey, go for it. Get more cars on AutoTrader. Then you talk to James and I'm like, oh God, I need to cut the AutoTrader package. We're cutting it off. It pickles your head. For me, you know what I want to do? I just want to spend time with my family. I want to come to work and I want to sell cars. And it's as simple as that. I do not want to be sat on Instagram at 8 o'clock at night messaging flipping Tracy or Sharon about a Merc A-Class and if they're going to have it on finance. I just want to sell cars. And that's why I pay AutoTrader, because they do sell me cars. If I want to, in my head, if I'm going to get the magic ingredient, I'm going to have to pay a salesman to deal with all these leads, which will be what, $2-3 a month. Then other forms of advertising, which will be $2 a month. So that's still $5 a month, what I'm already paying AutoTrader for. That's the way I look at it. I just want to keep it simple.
Oh, I don't know. I know. Obviously, you've been speaking to Sheik, and obviously, you got to remember he works at 140 miles an hour with his head out the window. That's his life, and like fair play, he's done a fantastic job. But I think both you and me, Dave, we're not quite. I think you've got to be a certain type of person to be able to do that, and like what you want from like your person. Obviously, you've got to factor in your personal life into the situation too. So, you know, could we sustain that level of effort for that period of time? Is it possible? Like, bearing in mind, he's got like BDMs that are underneath him that manage the sales guys. He's got other people that manage social media. Like, so they will be out there touching people up at 11 o'clock at night, sending them emails about finance proposals, part exchange prices. He'll be doing all of that. He's stretched everything thin. And obviously, yes, the advice is get as many cars as you can. Get after it. Keep going. Bigger. But unfortunately, when you size everything up, it does include more staff, more stress. And people are the biggest problem for all of us. Like, You know, if you can, you know, it sounds like you've got an okay team. Like, you know, maybe just sort of stick with that and maybe focus a bit more on the data side of it and see where it pans out for you, but do it ergonomically. Whereas if you put everything on red out of nowhere, you might get yourself into a bit of a pickle. But maybe put something in alongside AutoTrader, just something else that you want to give a go, just so you put yourself in a position where you don't have to rely on it, where it's your only advertising platform. You can't compare anything to anything when you've only got one income for adverts.
Yeah. You're right. I know you're right.
Make it part of your plan that we're working on, Dave. The building your blueprint and whatever, you can kind of think it through, can't you?
I'm up for trying new things. You know, I'm keen as mustard. Like if there's something, well, like I said, I did it with Car Gurus. Like, you know, sometimes, and it's for me, it was like, oh, for God's sake, I really don't want to do it. And then I just thought, you know what, I'll take the jump. Somebody else knows better than me, and I did it, and it was fucking right. So get on with it, you big pussies.
Thanks, James.
You're welcome.
I'm up for it, though. I am up for it.
Yeah, I'm going to try a few things. No got to. But anyway, getting back to our 50 grand dealership, just so we can kind of conclude this. I was curious. So we said we were paying £1,000 a month for a site. I reckon your trade insurance these days is going to cost you, what, 300 quid a month minimum?
Probably that. Sorry, between £300 and £500 a month.
All right, well, let's say 350 then. You need your trade plates. So let's say that's going to cost you, what, 20 quid a month if you spread it across the year. What else do you need? You're going to need, obviously, I'm just trying to think of how much you're going to have to spend out on, like, your first month before you even...
500 quid's worth of valeting gear, pressure washer, Hoover. I always buy 2 Hoovers. Like, that's something that if I can give anyone any advice when you set up a business, buy 2 Hoovers, buy 2 pressure washers immediately. Number 1 piece of advice. Guaranteed one will break.
I thought we were using the hand car wash and everything, though. I know you're still going to need one.
Like I said to you, when you send it over to the hand car wash, there's going to be bits where you come back and hoover a little foot well before it goes out. That's always going to be the case. Or like you've had a car sat at the back of the forecourt for 10 minutes and you just want to rinse the wheels off.
I'm thinking about just like monthly costs. So you've got your unit, it's £1,000. Your trade insurance is going to cost you 350 quid a month.
Internet, 30 quid a month.
Yeah, I'm going to say like your utilities and everything are going to easily be another 100 quid, aren't they?
Yeah.
If not more, probably. But then you're advertising. So I would, personally, if I was starting out, I would start on eBay Motors Group. I wouldn't go for AutoTrader straight away.
Would you do the individual adverts on AutoTrader? Like, obviously, I've said my piece about them, but if I was starting up, I don't think the individual adverts are a terrible idea. If you've got something that fits the bill for the individual adverts.
Yeah, I mean, when I started out and I was selling like sub 5k cars, it was perfect, like eBay fodder at that time. They might have done well on AutoTrader as well, but you just wouldn't have seen the return on investment for the amount you spent on advertising. I think as you get more expensive cars, you've got to be in that market for that sort of stuff. But
okay,
yeah, maybe. I mean, what
would a 10-car package be on eBay?
It'd be about £1,000.
I don't think it'd be that much. I think it'd be like 500 quid.
A 10-car package.
I paid
on
1,200 for
like
60.
900 quid. I think a 6-car package is 700.
No, eBay, not AutoTrader.
Oh, sorry. I thought it meant AutoTrader. My mind's clicked off.
I was going to say, like,
I've just went 360 on my idea. I know exactly what I'm going to do. So yeah, ignore me.
He's spinning there in his chair, like
he's rocking like
fucking hell. I can't make it. He was happy the minute he got off the phone with Sheik and he'd made his decisions. Now we've ruined him again. He's just going to be shaking in the corner of his office the rest of the day.
I'm like, oh, just let me ring.
This is where you need to set up another garage, Dave, and then you can compare them, doing different experiments.
No, don't surround yourself with any more mechanics.
No, the pick
They're all prima donnas.
like you lot do.
That's the problem, isn't it? He's going to quit. Yeah, well, I think probably like a 10-car package is probably going to cost you $450. Then you do some eBay or do some AutoTrader adverts as well. So let's say 600 quid on advertising.
So you're realistically going to operate at about $2,000 a month. You'll have to pay yourself maybe a little something just to make sure that.
Probably realistically more like $2,500 a month for overheads.
Yeah.
So you need to be making that right off the bat. And say you probably want to put the money aside for your first few months, wouldn't you? So that's $7,500 out of your budget. So you've now got 42,500 to spend on stock. So yeah, buying £4,000 cars to maybe sell for 6 or 7. It's a lot of money, isn't it? Really, when you think about it, you can understand why people want to trade from home.
I think down my way, I think that's very, very, very doable. Like that business plan with £50,000 cash, as long as you haven't borrowed the money, so you've got to pay interest on it. I think that's exceptionally doable. It's like I said with Dave, that's not a partnership. You couldn't do that as a partnership, because if one person wants to start drawing money, that's an absolute no-go. So, yeah, I think that is 100% doable. And make sure that you're in a personal financial position where you don't need, £6,000 a month to survive. Like, you need to be able to live frugally throughout the first year. And I think you do well. I think, like, if you've got the right mindset, I think that's a really nice little business model. And you'll have a lot of fun doing it. It'll be tiring, don't get me wrong, because you get to a certain point where, like, we all run out of the enthusiasm to deal with customers day in, day out, and then you bring someone on. But by that time, if you can hang on for 12 months, the chances are you've got enough growth where you can put a salesperson in that position.
Just as to get any further with this business plan that we're putting together for some unknown anonymous person, we'll have to spend more time on it, which we won't do today because Dave's already like pulling his beard out for stress now. We'll have to.
It's my fault. It's my fault, and I'll take it. But I'm not sorry.
It always is. It always is. That's the problem. What do you think, realistically? Like, we were talking about having like a little retirement business. How much do you think you could actually make from a retirement business? Say you had 10 cars, and maybe, I don't know, what could you put into it? Say, what should we say our budget is? £500,000 for
that'd be good.
Maybe not that much. £250,000
That's too much.
Yeah, £250,000.
And you had 10 cars. Do you think? I wonder. What I'm thinking is, we all have this like, we'd have 10 really, really nice cars that are like £50,000 each with big margins in. And I sometimes wonder, like, am I better off doing that right now?
I know. Have you ever read that book, the 80-20 principle? Well, basically, it's about flipping it, like 20% of the stuff you do in life gives you the biggest return. 80% is just, I don't know, it's like you're pissing in the wind. But basically, at the end of the book, there's this millionaire, and I'll probably say it wrong, but he's on the beach. He's a millionaire, whatnot, and he says to the fisherman, something, why don't you start up a fishing business and like, make it go global, get a factory, sell loads of fish, make loads of money in that, and then you can retire and, end up on this beach and just chill out fishing. And he's like, well, I'm doing that already. Do you know what I mean? Get me? And that's what it is with us. Like, we're trying to do all this now, and really what we could do is just sell everything and just do that 10-car thing from home and just chill out.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah, I was listening to someone else on something, and it was basically, he said like, he could do a lot more, but at the end of the day, we're all taking the same holidays. Do you know what I mean?
No, that's not correct.
What are you going to...
That's not correct.
Well, I know. You take some like horrendously expensive
me and Dave
holidays.
do stuff. You don't take any holidays.
That's very
ever.
true.
Yeah, I know. I don't take holidays, but if I did take holidays, then
yeah. So you can't throw that little fork at us. So we
all right.
We've got
but
a nice little balance.
say I was like a multi-millionaire. Do you think I'd be taking holidays then?
No,
you wouldn't. No,
I don't think you would. I think we're going to have to force you.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to have to make you accountable as your team members.
Definitely.
To make sure you take a fucking holiday. So somebody's got to look after you, and it's not yourself.
We need to take you to like Colombia or somewhere. We need to take you like somewhere absolutely miles away where you can't use your phone. Like a trek. I done that last year. I done a trek in Colombia for a week. It's the best thing ever. Like, we need to take you there.
I'd be like in a constant panic attack. Do you know what? And everyone would be like, what's that ghost walking around over there? Have you seen how pale I am?
Mate, I'm ginger, so bloody hell.
Yeah, just
fine.
Yeah, just start taking a couple of little bits of time for yourself, like where you switch the camera off or figure out some coping mechanisms. Like, I think realistically 4 days for a motor trader is about the most that you can get away with. A week's holiday, you end up getting to day 5 and you start scratching at the walls and you want to come home. But I think like 4 days is a nice amount of time to go and do something that you want to do without a time scale. Or, if you're autistic like I am, I like to know what's going on for X amount. So I like to know. Don't quote me on this. This is terrible, but I like to factor in an afternoon nap if I'm on holiday. So I like to know that I've got a select time where I could potentially have a little sleep in the afternoon. And for me, that's a holiday. I'll put my phone on the side, I'll put it on silent, and I can have a little cheeky nap. And that's the best.
My idea of a holiday would be just like going away. Do you know what? I used to hate the idea of like an all-inclusive holiday or a chalet or something or whatever, where you just do bugger all, because I was like, I need to be doing stuff. I need to be activities, skiing, jet skiing, whatever. That was my thing. Whereas now I'm just like, just leave me alone. Just relax. Sleep through the day if I want to, and then watch movies in bed the rest of it. That would be heaven for me. Just nothing. Just nothing.
That's what I did this weekend. I feel a little bit tired, but I feel great. And it was nice, you know, like, and I think you owe that to yourself to have a bit of time off, because it is important, because it gives you an opportunity to factory reset your brain, just to remind yourself why you're doing all this hard work. You know, have you had an opportunity to celebrate that lovely award that you won yourself? Did anyone open up any bottles of champagne and drink them through a straw at home? I fear not.
No.
So that's what I would have been doing, and had a weekend off.
That's right. Like, Joe, honestly, Joe, get yourself to Colombia or somewhere like that. You turn your phone off for the week. Honest to God, we were flipping going down the the Rapids, and I had all my best ideas while I was there. I had some great ideas for the business, and when I got back the week after, I remember turning my phone on, and I was getting a tight chest because I'd enjoyed it so much not having my phone for a full week. It was just beautiful.
I mean, I was thinking I probably want to book a skiing trip, but I don't think I need to go to Colombia and go down the rapids to have my best idea, which is probably like I should go home.
Get skiing then. Get yourself up there.
Yeah, I will do. Yeah, I probably need to lose some weight. My legs probably can't take it.
Do the Northern Lights in Norway or something? No Northern Lights.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, just 4 or 5 days. Take a bit of time off, I think.
Are you just honestly just trying to get rid of me, or what?
Well, you're setting us up now, so you can. Like, you've got no excuse. Next week,
Yeah.
you can have the morning off. You can do holiday bookings. We won't cause any
Well,
trouble.
this whole thing's gone to shit. Whoever started watching this podcast thinking we were going to give them advice on how to start their garage with 50 grand.
Yeah, but we got it figured out really quickly. It was like, you know, and then the Crystal Maze, when they give you like a thing that goes, you've got 6 minutes. We did it in 30 seconds. Now we've just chatted shit for an hour.
Yeah.
We were like, oh yeah, that's a smashing idea. Job done. Do it like that. So what you should probably get is you could probably see if you can get someone in that's prepared to do that. And then we video their process and help them go through that. I'd love it if somebody goes, right, I've got 50 grand. I'm going to go and be a car dealer. Do you want to go and video the process? That would be cool. So anyone out there that wants to do that, get it done. Can we see it? And can we help you, please?
Email us. Or go to the website, shiftingmetal.co.uk /B-on-the-podcast. Probably didn't need to read that out. It'll be on the screen. But there we are. We should probably leave it there because, I've got more work to do and stuff.
And I've got to cancel AutoTrader.
Yes! Yes!
Or increase it depending on how you're feeling.
Yeah. Do whatever you want to do, Sunshine.
Yeah. And let us know later on the group, so either James or Sheik can tell you how offended they are that you didn't take their advice.
I don't care either way. I literally don't care either way. I know that either way it'll be stressed to hell.
Yeah,
It'll be
it doesn't
delighted when
matter.
either one
That's it,
works,
yeah.
because either one will probably work.
Same outcome, isn't it? Same outcome.
it's all
Keeps us
good
busy,
advice.
doesn't it?
Yeah,
Keeps us busy, always thinking that we're doing something better.
that's it.
Right, well, thanks for coming on. Next week, we have got someone on. James will be back with his wonderful advice.
And a new Christmas jumper. I'll have to make sure I've got another Christmas jumper.
You're an odd character, James, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because the way you come across, I don't expect you to turn up on a podcast wearing a Christmas jumper.
We have Christmas jumpers day at work today, to be fair. Like, we have loads of strange stuff that we do.
Well, again, yeah. Wouldn't expect you to have a Christmas jumper day, but there we are.
This is actually three celebrities, though, isn't it? Because, like, Joe, you are a celebrity now on YouTube. Then we've got Ricky Gervais, James Alford. And then everybody says that I'm a bit like, who is it? Johnny Bravo?
Johnny Vegas.
Johnny Vegas, Johnny Bravo.
No, they say you sound... So obviously you sound like Johnny Vegas, supposedly, But who is it you look like? Who's the motorbike rider that everyone keeps saying? Is that why can't I think who it is? Carl Fogarty.
Carl Fogarty. Oh, I'll have that.
Foggy.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah, World Superbike.
Yeah, he's quite cool. Yeah. And I've had the bloke off Coronation Street, the ginger lad off Coronation Street.
Oh, I tell you what I've done. To all the people that have done it, I bought myself a bottle of Dutch Barn vodka for all the people, which is Ricky Gervais's new vodka.
Very nice. You need to get you on the advert with him.
I did. I messaged him. I said, "Look, do you want me to come on?" And they just didn't reply to me. But whatever. I'm not that offended.
Shocking. Right. Thanks for coming on.
Brilliant.
We'll speak to you soon.
Brilliant.
See you later.
Lads.